And welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of tonight's exciting episode. And for those of you who have joined late, these guys are only about 3 hours of hyperspace away from Coruscant. They're going to deliver medical goods to a planet. The shorthand name of the planet is EOS. And as they were flying over there, their AI pulled them out of hyperspace because a ship had wandered in front of their path that was not there before. And they are examining the ship. And so far, all they've determined is that it's releasing a distress signal, and it appears that a woman needs medical attention. And their medical officer, Grick, is very suspicious of the situation and has some concern that there might be some contaminants on board. And right before the break, it appears that the AI was able to track down that this ship was from Felucia. So let's get back to the players. Sirius, you just heard that it was from Felucia.
That's definitely one of the First Order's planets now.
Yes, in fact,
you
know that your daughter and your wife, when they came to you, when Kyle brought them to you in that smuggled Imperial vessel, that it too had been to Felucia. Not necessarily them, but the ship itself had been to Felucia. So it's definitely an active stronghold.
This could be a trap. We must be careful. We need that medical scan as soon as possible, Travis.
Affirmative.
Do that fly and get that flyby, Lucius.
And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and into my journal, and I'm going to open up the dice pool here, and Travis is going to make a roll alongside Grick with Grick's help. So because he gets help, he gets a boost. And the difficulty is going to be 2 with a setback. And here it goes. A success and a threat. Okay, so I'm just going to say the threat is going to be that Grick takes a strain. So I'll give Grick a strain. But as it looks, and I'll go ahead and move to the rolling only page so you guys can see the results. With the successes, it appears that there is a fungal contaminant on board, and Travis informs you of such.
What exactly does that mean, Grick?
Well, it means that we don't have any antifungal antitoxins on the ship. It's not really something that you need on Coruscant. Very common for exploration vessels, but not this one. We could probably crack open some of those medical crates and see if there's any on there, but without it, helping her or even bringing her on the ship is kind of pointless. Bringing her on the ship especially would cause it to spread.
By this time,
contagious?
Grodd would have been up back on the thing. He would have asked, "How contagious is this?"
Well, fungal contagions vary. It depends on the aggression of the fungus. This one clearly is living on a spaceship, which is very odd. It needs something to feed off of. So I'm assuming if she's the only biosign on the ship, she's what the virus is feeding off of. So, pretty dangerous.
Floating in the air, and her hair was not floating, so there's gravity. That is strange.
Well, if it's a fungal
would Lucius
infestation...
be looking at the screen?
Yeah.
And is he noticing anything?
You know what? Let's have you roll a skill. What kind of skill would you like to roll? Like, what are you looking at in particular?
Perception.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to say difficulty 2. I think that you're, being a pilot especially, you are perceptive enough, and you're focusing everything on this. So I'm not... Oh, hang on. I got to clear my pool. I'm not going to worry about giving you any penalties or boosts. No one's really helping you. They're all talking about it. But it's almost like when we cue over to Lucius, you drown their sound out as you focus on this image. Nope, you have no idea.
Gosh.
By the way, I am a naughty man, so I'm going to let you re-roll that, and I'll tell you why. I need everybody to roll a Destiny. We forgot to do that. That's how long it's been. So everybody roll 1 Destiny point, or 1 Destiny die. And you do that by, on your Destiny pool, there is a roll Destiny button. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, no.
There we go.
No. More dark side for me. Yes, and of course, as always, tradition dictates I'm going to represent the state of the Force. Another dark side. So,
Okay,
more
since
dark
we're
side.
remembering stuff, let me ask you if you, of course, you can choose not to do this, but what about escalation? Because that roll was a wash.
That's why I'm going to have him reroll. I'm just going to have him reroll now that he has light side. If he wants to spin a light side, that's my fault for not providing you guys with such. So, do you want to reroll? And if so, do you want to spin a light side on it?
Yes on the reroll, no on the spending the light side.
I'll let you reroll because that was my goof for forgetting this in the first place. It's
All
been a long time, everyone.
Yeah,
There we go.
see,
That's
I
what
was
I'm
pretty
talking about.
confident. Yeah, I was pretty confident.
Yeah, I think you start to notice that she's sweating a lot more, and with the advantages, not only do you notice that she's looking worse by the minute, but you're starting to see that there's a crust forming around her eyes that is flaking off every time she blinks.
Ooh, that's fucking gross.
And the crust is the same color as the dust motes that are floating in front of the camera.
Oh shit, that's not good. Hey, guys.
Yeah, I don't think they hear you
avoid...
at first. You're like, hey, guys.
Guys, guys.
Grodd and Sirius, go ahead and continue your conversation, because this is going to be really funny.
So we're like, is it contagious?
Yeah, you guys are talking about that. And
Let's go
then
over
you
there.
hear Lucius goes, guys,
Guys.
and like gets your attention.
What is it, Lucius?
You may want to look at the screen. Look at her. She doesn't look too hot, and that's fucking gross. Look at her eyes.
That's fucking gross, man. I think it's at this point that Kier comes onto the bridge, fully decked out. That's fucking gross, man. It's nasty.
As
He looks
Grodd,
over at her like, what the?
as Grodd looks at this lady and sees her like slowly deteriorating, he'll lean over to Sirius and kind of whisper to him. I was like, this may be a mission of mercy. Like, we
Grodd goes,
may
agreed.
have to take her out.
Oh fuck.
If we let her on the ship,
I'll go.
even if we were able to treat her, if we let her on the ship and she contaminates the medical supplies,
Yeah.
if we deliver it to the injured,
I'll go man the guns. And what's the biggest gun?
I'm like, wait, Travis, can you override the system and evac her from the shuttle?
no. Travis responds. Sirius, you're muted, bud.
I'll say, belay that order, Travis. Paris, man the gun. That was a good idea, Grodd.
No,
And then
I'll man it myself. He wants to do it himself. He's gonna, if it's gonna pop off, he'll.
I'm gonna
He'll pull
grab
the
you
trigger.
and say, one moment. I want you here for just a moment longer. Then you can go because we have two guns, right?
If you don't mind, I don't really see a rush in manning the guns. She is of no risk to us, so take all the time you need to chat, and then Grodd can murder the woman himself if he so chooses.
Merciful.
It's a precautionary measure, Travis. But Grick, what is her species? The gold eyes, is that normal for her to flake like that? It could be a normal process for her species. can't
Grick
just blow her
goes,
up.
well, I would agree, but she's wearing an Imperial uniform, and according to these medical charts, she's definitely human.
Her eyes are golden.
I didn't say it was normal, I just said she's human.
Right?
So my face says everything. Like, I almost seem like a racist Imperial because I kind of blanch. I'm like, oh, I didn't even think she was human. It's clear on my face.
Oh dang, dude.
She's like, please hurry. I'm having a hard time thinking. And you hear her go.
What the fuck? It's Lucius just like, whoa. Yeah, let's get rid of this ship now. Wait a minute. What about the fuel? Can we get the fuel off without having to go on board?
I'll pull Grodd in
You
close.
see,
I'll pull Grodd in close, and I'll say, do you think you can hit the cockpit window and just space the vessel, and then
So, well, good try. Not my ship.
right. It's an Imperial vessel.
Yeah.
If
So
I
if
may,
it blows up, it blows up.
Travis says, chances are, if we fire at it, we'll have to penetrate its shields. It's not having a power shortage. In fact, the ship is fully functional. And if we go through the shields and you shoot through the cockpit, chances are we'll cause a big explosion.
I can get her to deactivate the shields.
Agreed. That does not change the fact that our weapons, which are pretty potent and designed to blow up ships, will blow up the ship. Unless you convinced her to space herself. But even then, the spore
not that
contaminants will still be all over the vessel.
And Kier's like tapping his arc welder on the side. He's like, nothing a little fire won't take care of.
That is true, but I do believe Lucius said that there was a station along the way. I mean, we're debating penetrating a dangerous mission for free fuel. We could always just pay for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll turn to Grodd and I'll say,
Okay.
man the gun, prepare to fire. I'll have her
Alright.
deactivate
No!
the shields.
Wait! What are you... And she chokes, and this weird, like, flower comes out her mouth, and she just kind of goes cross-eyed and then hits the floor.
Yeah, we're blowing the fuck out of this ship right now.
And I'm gonna as she falls to the ground, I'm gonna turn the comm off and I'm gonna say, lower your shields. We can't get in if you don't lower your shields.
It does not appear that she is responding. Do you want to wait for her response?
What did she say?
Another flower shoots up.
She doesn't really say anything right now. She appears to have fallen on the floor. Do you wait for her response?
I mean, Grodd is running to. We have until Grodd gets to the shoot button.
So
basically.
Grodd is running over to the lift. He's gonna get on the lift, go up to the. Are you doing the dorsal or the ventral?
Which one's more powerful?
They're both probably just as powerful, but the ventral one, you'll have the obstruction of the freighter that you guys are carrying underneath. You might want to do the ventral or dorsal one, which is up top.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
All right. So Lucius is gonna start positioning the ship to be in the prime firing
you start
position.
positioning the ship. Sirius is still negotiating. You know, he might as well try, right?
I'm like,
Could you roll me a
Kier's is talking to Travis.
Sirius, roll me a negotiations check against, well, 2 purple, because she's receptive to receiving help. She really wants some help. Let me make sure I don't have anything on my side. You're good. Go ahead.
Like, Travis.
Well, yeah,
Down
you
the
are
hall.
trying to negotiate, and she doesn't seem to be handling this. In fact, you hear what sounds like a grapefruit splitting in half, but you don't see anything.
we're coming to help you. Don't worry. And I'm like looking back, and I'm thinking about my daughter on this ship right now, and I'm hoping that she's not like noticing that we're about to slaughter this poor woman who needs our help.
Yeah, so Grodd slides into the lift, and the lift is like taking him up to the 3rd story where he can access the dorsal turret. And at this point, Sirius, roll me another one against 2 purple. Like I said, she's very receptive to wanting help. Excellent roll. The threat is that you're starting to get frustrated because it appears she may have already died. But any thought of her death kind of subsides when you see her stand up and her head is splayed open. Appears that the melon cracking was actually her head splitting. And she just goes...
Oh!
and starts looking around the cockpit. She hears your voice on the speakers, and you just see her rending the console apart, like... just tearing out the electronics.
I say, fire! Grodd, fire!
Yeah, Grodd, you hear fire, and you're still running to the turret. Like, this is a larger ship than you're used to.
Yeah. Like, I'm not even there
Travis, download all the... Travis could get a hold of the communication codes and stuff off the ship.
Unfortunately, I cannot. This is an Imperial vessel. It's encoded. It would take some time.
Yeah, let's not wait for that.
Yeah, everybody's just standing there in horror. Lucius, you position yourself. Lucius, I would like you to make a piloting space check. Not saying that you're having a hard time doing this, but let's see if your instinct kicks in. Difficulty 3, because you didn't think of this.
All right. Pilot in space. Here we go.
Okay. You do remember that this has an abnormally large fuel cell on it. This is a modified cruiser, so you might want to step it back a bit. That'll make the targeting harder for Grodd.
All right, Grodd, while you're still trying to get up there, I'm going to push the ship back a bit, because when this thing blows, it's going to blow big time, so you're going to have a more difficult shot, but...
That's fine.
We ain't
Whatever
going to blow the
it takes to
ship, our
survive.
ship up.
Grodd, you're breathing heavily. What is your brawn?
1.
Yeah, so, Grodd, you get up to the ladder that goes up to the dorsal turret, and you are completely out of breath, and you're like, this ladder just might as well be 10 stories tall. But you're like, alright, and you start climbing up the ladder begrudgingly. But it's once you sit in that seat, that new seat, because if you remember, the dorsal turret was shaved off, and you're just like, the squeak of fresh leather is like, and it vents air, and you're like, ooh, it feels comfy. And everything's been lubed on this turret. Everything about this turret is brand new.
All right,
Here does fine work.
Yep. So he sits back in the thing. He's still breathing hard, and but he kind of just takes a second just to close his eyes before he does anything, because he knows, like, you're trying to shoot something, you don't want to be breathing hard, or you're trying to do
Yeah.
it. So he just takes like
So
5
would you
seconds
say
to
you're
close
taking
his
an
eyes.
aimed shot?
I don't really know so much as aimed as just like
You want to
trying
aim?
calm down.
Yeah, because remember, aim in this game is when you forfeit your movement for the round and you get a boost to your shoot dice. You could just say that you're breathing out and honing yourself in, and it's the same thing.
Okay, so that's what he's doing, and
So 3 difficulty because the ship is moving away. Roll your gunnery and add a blue dice. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna need you to upgrade my side, please.
great.
So 3 purple, upgrade my side, because I spent a force point, and then you get a blue because you are aiming.
Yep.
Roll them. Oh my
Oh,
goodness! All right,
yes!
well, you just go and you start firing, and the shields eat it. No. But you could tell that you definitely did a lot of damage to the shielding.
And I'm gonna say, Paris, fire!
Yeah, Paris fires. Let me get the form up here. She's not.
Oh,
the
it's
best.
nice to have multiple guns. What a
She
baller
is
shit.
not the best
Hell
at
yeah.
gunnery. She gets a setback because unfortunately the ventral turret is by that
The
by that
shuttle.
freighter. She does get a boost because she's aiming as well, but you know what? I have a lot of dark side, so I'm just gonna upgrade the difficulty on that a little bit.
Great. Gonna have a perforated shuttle.
Oh!
I fucking hate this game sometimes. Alright, so she takes 2 strain because she realizes the shot's gonna be difficult. But as the ship is rounding around, she realizes, oh wait, isn't that the panel where they fill the fuel on the outside of the ship? That's gotta be the least armored. She goes, and all of the fuel inside the ship goes up, which causes the shuttle to blow up from the back to the front and just ignite. A few seconds later, space is quiet again. The debris lovingly floats off. You guys are out of harm's way thanks to Lucius's quick thinking.
Kier takes off his helmet. He's disappointed. It's like, "Ow."
Yeah, he's got a disappointed old man face, like, fucking youngster, go back to the armory and put this shit away.
You hear him all stomping back down the hallway. He's like, you'll know where I'll be.
And Sirius closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, lets the force flow through him, and he says under his breath to the woman with the whole crew of that ship, I guess, who just passed away, may the force be with you.
That's when you hear in your head, "It will be." And it's a woman's voice. This is not the same woman that talked to you.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like, there's a lightsaber in my hand, and I turn around, and I'm just like, what?
Nobody's on the ship.
And
But
I'm
you
like,
can tell it's a link of some sort.
who is this? Who's that? And I'm saying this out loud, so Lucius probably hears me going crazy over here, weapon in hand, tripping out.
She says, "I only have but a few moments, but I am the queen that will make the entire galaxy kneel." And then it fades away. That link is gone as the rest of the ship burns up.
Welcome to Felucia.
So as I slowly put the lightsaber back on my belt or in my sleeve or wherever it was in my not a cape, totally not a cape. So I put it in my totally not a cape.
You put it in your totally not a cape. Got it.
Yeah. And, I turn to Lucius and I say, that was strange.
Yeah, that was strange. She was. What the
She was
hell
tripping.
was? What was that? Grick, what was that stuff?
Grick looks at you guys. His Rodian eyes blink. "I think it's best that we just forget this ever happened." And then turns and leaves the bridge.
Way to go, Grick.
But more importantly, we have important medical supplies to deliver. Make sure the course is still secure and set. Let's be on our way.
Do you want me to adjust?
Sir.
Do you want me to adjust the coordinates to that merchant station stop off to get fueled?
You found somewhere for fuel.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. That's a great idea. Let's go there.
All right. We'll readjust our course and we'll
Since
stop
you're the
there
one that
first
found it,
before we.
Lucius, go ahead and give me an astrogation check with 2 purple to line up the course. It's not that you're not going to make it there. It's just this is how fast and how safe you make it there.
Right.
That's when the
And
doors
I
open
also
up and Grodd and Paris enter the bridge, and Paris is looking smug as fuck.
And I say
Oh,
to
shit.
Lucius, and send me any information on the owners of the station so I can prepare for negotiations.
Okay.
Just any information on the station, wherever we're going, the destination.
I think the fail is that you're definitely going to expend a lot more fuel getting there, and you're not going to be able to get there in a timely fashion. Well, what's something triumphant that you discover, or something that happens to you guys?
You know what? I'm gonna leave this one open.
I do have an idea.
Sure.
I'll offer it
Yeah.
to you.
I have one.
The triumph
Okay.
is that you recognize the merchant who owns this place, and he's actually good friends with you.
I was going to suggest that. I'm on board with that.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Lando? No. So yeah, you
Oh,
recognize
what?
that, his name is Stevos, and Stevos is a very, very wealthy and fair merchant, but he doesn't really like to dabble in guilds or treaties, so he just kind of deals with trade on this little fringe world that you guys are headed to, and he's an Athorian.
And
you
as-
know he loves the shit out of you. He thinks you're great.
well, we got some advantage here, Sirius. I know the guy who runs this place, so I can tell you anything that you need to know. And lucky for us, he actually likes me. So
Paris
Once
goes,
you get a
"Bullshit,"
course
and
laid
sits
in.
down.
Come to my office and we'll talk.
all right, we'll get it done.
So, Sirius, do you
And-
depart from the bridge?
I'm gonna turn to Grodd and make sure he doesn't punch out Paris or whatever. See, make sure they're not fighting over the kill or whatever.
No,
Actually,
actually,
it almost,
Grodd,
I think they're
when Grodd
complimenting, like, Paris is complimenting him on knocking the shields out in one shot.
yeah, Grodd would actually, when he walks in the cockpit, or the bridge and Paris is there, he would actually, like, he'd have one beer in one hand and, like, have another beer in another hand. You don't know where he got it from. Somehow between here and the gun,
He has
came
them in
up
his
2
boots.
beers. Yep, and he says, "Nice shooting," and hands one to Paris.
Yeah, she raises it and pops it, "Thank you," and just starts slamming it down. And looks at Lucius and goes, "You want some?"
Nah, I'm good.
She shrugs and just finishes it.
Nice shot, by the way.
Couldn't
Both
have done
of
it
you.
without Grodd. And
Well,
all of a
thanks,
sudden,
but-
Travis chimes in and goes, "You know, Grodd, if you were to enhance your reflexes a bit more, you probably would have been able to do more damage to the ship. Not that I am judging or anything. To err is mortal."
Travis, shut up for 5 minutes, please.
Confirmed. Entering silence mode for 5 minutes. And then he just goes offline. And yeah, the ship takes off, no problem. We'll fast forward 3 days and say that you guys are just now arriving at the station, and you pull out again, probably about 30,000 clicks away from it, so that you guys have time to talk as you make your way towards the station. It's not really customary. I mean, the Imperials make a habit of just right outside a space station, but civilians aren't allowed to do that. So you guys are in the Dragon's Ire conference room.
I've called everybody to the conference room so we can like make a game plan. And I've sort of prepped personally with Lucius about his friend a little bit, just me and him. So he's told me some stuff.
Yeah, and you could just make that up as you go too. Just know that he there's no debt. He doesn't owe Lucius. He just thinks Lucius is like the best dude ever.
I'll follow your lead, Lucius. So.
Okay.
So before I got a side question. Do we still have contact with the Mon Calamari doctor?
No, you guys are way too far away from Coruscant.
Okay.
That is not how Star Wars works, sir. Actually, it's just because you guys are a private.
I couldn't afford it. Yeah, there is one that you can do that, but you have to like steal it from the Imperials, basically. So like we're working on it. Give me a minute.
No. Hey, I'm just double checking. I would say just in the conference room, I'm like save the recordings from that conversation with the ship, and when we can get to a comparable station that we can transmit it, we send it back to the dock. This sounds like something that's up his alley. So,
is this you talking in the conference room, or is this something you did in the days?
No, that would be something in the conference room. Okay. I haven't really had a chance.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say yes. I'd also like to know how contagious it is. That was her head splits open. Did you see it? And then I look to make sure Sarah's not in the room. I'm like,
yeah, actually, she would be. If you invited everybody to a conference room, she'd want to go. She's been trying to be.
So I kind of see her, and I kind of balk slightly. Yeah, I do that.
Grick goes, if you don't mind, I managed to triangulate how long she was on the vessel. I don't know how long she's been contaminated, but for her to be where she is with the light speed engine that she had, I'd say she must have been traveling for a good 2 weeks.
And she was coming from Felucia or heading
That
to
was the last destination. Chances are it's a slow contamination point, which means patient 0 could be walking among a populated populace and won't know they're sick until day 7.
And that's if it did come from Felucia. The incubation time could be longer, and the source could be somewhere that the ship stopped at.
I would agree with that, except if it's slower, then the spore count will be slower, which means if she arrived to Felucia like this, she would have shown signs and certainly wouldn't have been able to fuel up before coming out here.
So it's your professional medical opinion that incubation time of 4 weeks is
2
common?
weeks. 2 weeks for this
2
one.
weeks.
I mean, she died and turned into something. We all saw it. Now it's 14 days after she left Felucia. So maybe another week, maybe, but I'm saying 2 to 3 weeks. She would have had to have contracted on Felucia at some point.
Do you know of any fungal diseases that have that incubation time?
I don't know of any fungal diseases that do that. Normally, you just die.
I think we better find any news about Felucia from the station here.
Well, yes,
There's
that's
got to
all.
be some kind
Yes,
of news.
it's all interesting and good and all, but
Actually,
The
now that
mission-
you guys are out of hyperspace and
Past
you're in the
time.
station's area, you could tap into the hull in it and do research before you get there.
do we think that the station itself could be contaminated?
Oh no, this is on the other side of the galaxy. Honestly, it looked like she was going somewhere. You guys just happened to cross paths.
Okay, so I'll kind of like, I don't have a gavel, but I'll sort of like signal that the meeting is called to order or whatever, basically, and I'll say, well, that's all good and well.
It's like Star Trek.
we
It's
have-
like one of those like
Casket.
the Klingon sparking balls that they have. It's just like a little ball that you go and tap the table.
Okay, I'll say, we need to get this fuel, and then we need to make sure that this delivery mission goes as quickly as possible because we have something more personally important to us to handle. Lucius, is there anything you want to tell us about the captain here who we'll be getting our fuel from?
Yeah, Lucius. How does this guy know you? Like, how are you guys such good buddies?
Me and Stevos, we me being the smuggler pilot type, have had many dealings with having to smuggle stuff for him. He doesn't exactly deal in everything legal. So I've had to smuggle some things in every single job. For some reason on his jobs have never been messed up. They've been the smoothest, best missions. Everybody else, I've at least screwed up at least one or two missions, but with him, for some reason, it's always been the best mission, so he loves it. And plus,
maybe let's also
he loves to
say
party.
that's also on his end too. Maybe he's quite smart and he's a very, very careful thinker. And instead of just asking you to go do a mission, let's say that you know he has a council. So he goes to his council and says, "All right, look, we need this stuff. How can we get it?" And they all kind of debate, and then he makes kind of like the Hand of the King in Game of Thrones. He makes a decision based on that.
Right.
So they're very well thought out missions. They're not just slapped together.
Right. So yeah, no problems with them. Yeah, the other ones have been, having to improv, and of course, with improving in any situation, there's also a point to have a mistake somewhere. So he's his missions are pretty well laid out. Yes. Very little room for error. But yeah, and then outside of that, just after missions usually, or after some kind of thing, we would just, he loved to party, so he likes his drinking.
And what kind of people hang out here? Gangs, pirates?
Well, mostly merchants. He deals mostly in, but you'll have your few, whatever's around this section of space. He doesn't deal too much with the galaxy as a whole, but in this part, oh yeah, you pretty much anything you want to hear about anything around here, he'd probably have some information on.
Sir, there appears to be some vessels approaching the ship.
Are they communicating?
Yes, sir. It appears they are trying to hail you.
How far away from the station are we?
We are currently 25,000 kilometers and approaching.
Do they appear to be coming from the station?
I have confirmed. I've run a scan and it appears they are part of the station's security force.
Understood, yes. That's the communication through. And I'll turn to the big fancy thing. So I have the Phoenix behind me, looking
like
all
the
baller.
big giant sailboat painting or some like really boring classical painting in the room lifts up and there's a screen behind it. And you see this pilot and he's like, "We're going to need you to state your business with this station."
We're here to purchase fuel.
All right, you're going to have to wait in line. It's going to be about a day.
Okay, so we have visual communication, right?
Yeah, with the pilot.
I'm gonna give him the smile to him, and I'm gonna say, I'm sure there's a fast track for VIPs, proper compensation.
Roll me a negotiations against 5 purple.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Oh, he's spinning a light side point.
Yes, I did. Now I'm obligated as a player that's not a schmuck to. Do you want to use a dark side on that? Because I did before I just click the roll.
Nah, I got better things to spin that on, really.
Fair. Okay, let's see if we can hit this, baby. Here we go. Ah.
You
Good to go.
succeed. He says, yes, proceed to the front. And as he cuts out and breaks off communication, you notice that the screen shows the front view of the camera. Your threat is that you drop the gavel and it hits the carpet and you come to your legs fast. And you are staring at the screen in shock and bewilderment because there around the station is a lot more ships than it can handle, and most of them are from Paradise.
Oh shit!
It looks like when Paradise Station was taken over, not everybody just succumbed to it. Some people fled.
So now,
you
do we
recognize
know
some of the ships too. You and Grodd
Do
are
we know-
like, oh my god.
if is Paradise, was it around here? Would this be like the nearest station?
Paradise
near it?
was near Coruscant. So this would probably be the nearest station that nobody knows about to Paradise.
Okay, so as I fall, I'm gonna turn to Grodd with like complete shock on my face, and I'm gonna say, "Is that the Florentine, whatever? You know, make
Yeah,
up
you see the
make up
Florentine?
insert ship name here."
Actually, Grad was sitting next to Sarah, and like before, he wasn't even paying attention to all this. He was like describing to her how that lady's head opened up.
Oh, wait, so
And he's like,
so Sirius is trying to keep secret. He's going,
then he hears his name called, and he looks up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that is. That's strange." And there's, the other ship.
yeah,
like a
you
whole
actually,
bunch of 'em here.
Grodd, you see a casino ship that you remember from Paradise Station.
Yeah, I'll say, yeah, that's the
The Lucky
The
Roger.
lucky lady. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
it's a lucky
there
lady.
you go. Yeah.
We're obviously very creative here. With all of
Actually, one of the things that do catch your eye, Sirius, is you see the Chancellor, and it is a giant, cruiser. And the Chancellor is the ship where all of the merchant captains would meet before they would have their holo meetings with Cooper. I.e., the holo meeting, the very first one you guys walked into when Kyle Katarn was waiting outside. That's the ship.
Am I done talking to these ships, or we're going?
Oh
in
yeah,
front
they
of the line?
cut out. They're like, all right, your credits pass. You're with the Madame. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to contact what you called it, the Constantine. I don't remember what you called it. Even though you said it 2 seconds ago.
I literally just said it 2 seconds ago. That ship, yes.
We all forgot the name.
We all forgot the name.
Florentine.
Chad, I need your help. No, it wasn't Florentine. It was
Florentine.
Chancellor. The Chancellor.
Chancellor.
Chancellor. I'm gonna contact the Chancellor. Just kind of in shock.
You would know that they communicate in code, but you know Paradise's code.
Yeah, like they don't know this shit, but I know the code.
You know the code, but you also know that if they were expecting a message from you, they would be expecting it from a particular ship.
Well, that ship is kind of not available.
No,
so I have
but
to do
you
what I
could
have to
name
do.
drop.
I'll put it in there. I'll
Right,
in
negotiations.
encoded. I'll even
Nego-
put here Plinto instead of Sirius.
There you go. So 2 blue, 3 purple, roll in negotiations or some other diplomacy. Oh my god, you nailed it! You absolutely nailed it.
So I left
Immediately,
a little
they send you a
like,
message back
clue,
that
so
tells
just,
you...
like, they would recognize me.
They send you a message back and they tell you to go dock. They would like you to dock with them. And that they'll pay for your fuel.
I'm gonna say, Lucius, let's go. We need to change our course. Meeting
okay.
adjourned. We'll
Okay.
take some. Grodd, come with me.
Perfect. And as we're walking out, I say, "Why are you changing course? Let's go see what's
Sarah
going on."
taps Sirius's arm and says, "Dad, I'm gonna stay here."
I'll stop and I'll turn to her and like I was like a whirlwind on a mission, and then she pulled me right out of it. So I'll stop and I'll turn to her, go back in dad mode, and I'll say, what is it?
Cooper was not the only people that Tarkin and I victimized. And she kind of looks at the screen, looks away ashamed, and says, "Excuse me, I need to use the head." And she leaves the room.
And like I don't want to embarrass her in front of everybody, but like I kind of feel bad for not doing it. I like look around at everybody. And I'm like, shh. And then y'all are parents. I'm not a parent. Should I like tell my dudes to wait a minute while I go talk to my daughter, or should I go do the meeting? Like what should I do?
No parent
out
knows
of character.
that. No parent knows
No,
that.
that's
question. No parent ever knows it.
no shit.
You are doomed if you do. You're doomed. If you go talk to her, she's gonna resent you for it. If you don't talk to her, she's gonna resent you for it. You, sir,
Teenage
are
girls, okay.
fucked.
Yes, you are.
Well put, sir. Okay, so I'm gonna let her be because
Because you know, if you talk to her, she'd be
could
like,
force
"Dad,
choke
I'm
me.
not a kid anymore."
Yeah, no.
But if you don't talk to her, she's gonna be like, "Daddy, why?"
I'll be
Why'd you leave me
to talk
hanging?
before we go board the Chancellor.
There you go.
I'll say that. But I'm gonna go make sure that everybody knows what's up before I talk to her.
Yeah. So, who's going? I think everybody should personally. You got
I want
enough
everybody to
NPCs
go.
on the ship.
No,
Yeah.
I want everybody to go. I just didn't need Kier in that moment to get us to the Chancellor. But once we leave our ship, I want Kier right by mine.
So you're pulling Grodd aside, and you take Grodd aside. The other person who is shocked to see this is Grick.
I'm surprised he's coherent enough to remember.
I'll tell him to gather up any kind of aid that he might have that we can donate to them if they need any type of assistance or anything, like anything you might have for a med bay.
You know what? In normal circumstances, Grick would tell you to go fuck yourself because he already put a requisition to you and had to damn near beg for supplies. But since he knows these people, he starts going to the medical bay, clearing out anything that he considers a non-emergency excess. That
Good call.
may affect you in the future, just so you know.
That's fine. We didn't have a lot of extra stim packs, but we had some. So.
Yeah, he takes
cool.
the super stims,
And
of course, and decides to get rid of those because he
So-
doesn't trust those things.
Kier looks over and is like, "Okay, so what exactly are we talking about here?" He's like starts pointing off these different ships and stuff. I'm like, what?
Well, when you turn
What-
around,
what's the deal?
Sirius walks out with Grodd to have an aside that they wanted to have. So it's just you and Lucius on the deck right now. But what do you and Lucius do? That's an interesting perspective. You and Lucius are just left in the room as everybody leaves.
Like, He starts. It's like, what can you tell me about some of these ships up here, Lucius? I mean, and he starts pointing out like a couple of the larger ones and a couple of like these like smaller ones that are down, like they're look like fighters and stuff. I'm like, this seems like an awfully big contingent for somebody that's like supposed to be having traffic moving in and out. So
Yeah, especially in this part of the sector. I mean, it's not well traveled. And this is not enough for local traffic. I mean, you've got a couple sectors nearby that are decently populated, but nothing to this magnitude.
right. When was the last time you visited with the Stevos?
It's been a few years, but I mean, nothing too bad. And I just happen to know he's run upon the station recently, but I mean, I've been in this area before. I mean,
Yeah.
Now you
a
have a
few
choice.
times, and
Kier, you don't know this area at all, so you could make a warfare
Nope.
check against 3 purple. Or Damn Jam can make a warfare check against 3 purple and 3
Alright,
goose.
Lucius?
how does he? You mean Lucius?
Lucius.
I'm
like, Damn Jam's here already.
Shit. Lucius. So Lucius can make a knowledge warfare check against 3 purple with 3 boosts, or you could just make a flat knowledge warfare check with 3 purple. And I just want you guys to weigh your options without metaing and just decide who wants to make the roll.
I'd pitch it in direction of Luke, more for his his knowledge.
Yeah. So go ahead and make a knowledge warfare check with 3 purple and 3 boosts.
All right.
Kick it into gear. I'll move this over so you guys can see it.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
And he's like, so here's looking at him. It's like he notices Lucius's eyes. Like, you know something. What's going on? And he's like,
I'm going to go ahead and kick the 3 advantages to success. So there's 3 successes there. And what we're going to say is that, Damn Jam, you start noticing that maybe the Chancellor...
Drink, everybody, drink!
God damn it,
said it again.
Lucius! Maybe the Chancellor is the only warship here. Everything else has very light armaments. It appears that they live in a veil of ignorance if they think they can fly around without weapons. But you also happen to notice that there are some vessels here that are not part of the same group that have old Rebel Alliance insignia on them with this mark. It looks like this Nebulon B cruiser painted on them, but it's all scuffed up and missing paint and a red ring around it. And it says 31st Research Fleet on these ships.
oh, great.
So it looks like scientists.
Sorry, metagaming here. Sorry, metagaming.
All right, well then don't. That's the best way not to do it. Is not to say that.
Well, this is
I'm gonna do it.
this is a weird configuration of fleet. I mean, you've got this Chancellor here. It's pretty heavily armed, but the rest of the vessels wouldn't put up much of a fight. Not against a battle-hardened cruiser fleet, definitely. And there's a lot of science vessels here, old science fleet from the Civil War era, but it's odd, that's for sure.
And Kier nods and he's like, that was my original assessment of it as well. I'm like, he's like, but these are almost all these ships are. There's not a single one of them that's a new one. They're all pretty much older class ships.
Yeah, I'd say maybe as you guys are looking at it, you know that the Chancellor, it looks like it's had a ton of modifications. It's probably the newest, best ship. It probably looks nicer than the station itself. I mean, a lot of money went into that. Maybe the casino ship is pretty fancy and new, but everything else is just old.
And I pull up. I go to the the table, and I assume that there's probably like a hollow table type kind of thing, and I just have I have Travis pull up a configuration of all the ships that are around the station. And
yeah, and it doesn't look like they're blockading it, by the way. It just looks like they're parked. Like this is a truck stop gas station.
Yeah, so between Lucius and I, we start picking out which ones belong to the science team and which ones are like associated with the other, and if there's anything else that stands out, like any other ships are like don't fit those 2 classifications.
Yeah, not much, just a bunch of security fighters flying from the station. So then the scene's going to pan over while you guys are analyzing that holotable to Sirius and Grodd, who are probably... Because if you remember, we have the lounge, right? And I'll go back to the view for this. We've got the conference area right here. But we have also decided that this area right here, the public office, can be shut and sealed if you guys want to talk privately.
Yeah, for sure, or out in the hallway. I don't think it matters. But
the other option is you can go to the security bulkheads and close the blast doors and have complete privacy, but that's really paranoid.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. So I'll pull you aside and I'll say, do you think these are survivors from Paradise?
You know what I think? I think Tarkin let these people be survivors. Do you know what I'm saying? He let them escape so they could lead him somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if his eyes are on the station right now.
You see, you can see on my face that I'm troubled because like I want to get in there and like help these people, but like I have no argument against your point. Like I'm just sitting there like trying to think of something and like I have nothing.
It's like hunting womp rats back home. You know, you lay out the bait, and the little guy comes along, and you don't shoot at him first because he always brings the big guy back a few minutes later. It's like I think that's what Tarkin's doing here.
I think that you could be right.
It's like, so how do we get our fuel and get out of here is what we have to do.
Well, if what you say is true, I don't think getting out of here will be the problem. I think it will be remaining off of the First Order's radar much longer after this.
You got a point.
It's too late now. They've seen me, but
well, the
how can they
security
minimize this?
details seen you.
No, I sent my codes to the Chancellor. They know it's me.
Oh, that's right.
They know it's here, Plintow. They'll put the 2 and 2 together soon enough.
It strikes you that there may be a person on this vessel that has a really good understanding of what happened on Paradise Station. If you want to find out more details.
Anyone in particular? Because I'm hoping that secretary lady is around here somewhere.
Actually, I'm talking about your daughter.
Yeah, Sarah.
Oh, you're talking about on this ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she should be in on this meeting, but she's a teenager.
You could just go talk to her and ask her questions about it.
I'll say, Grodd, do you think we should go talk to Sarah about this?
I think if we talk to her together, it might be a little bit better than you talking to her. No offense, but
I do. The relief on my face is palpable. Yes, let's go. She likes you.
You step out of the main conference area. It doesn't take a long time to find her. She's over in the lounge drinking.
I refrain from scolding her, but you could see that I want to.
She's not drinking like vodka or whiskey. She's drinking Corellian wine.
Still,
well,
but better.
I'm gonna go over and kind of just like sit next to her, and then I'm just gonna take the wine and just put it in front of me.
And actually, you don't even have to do that. Once you sit next to her, you see that there's 2 shot glasses with Kessel whiskey in them. She says, "I figured you two wouldn't be far behind." And she's just kind of thumbing the rim of her glass very carefully.
Like, and then, so I'll speak up and I'll say, so what's up, Sarah? You seem a little shook by the sights we've just seen.
Well, when I arrived to Paradise Station, I had arrived to teach Cooper a lesson, but it appears somebody was already there. And those ships out there, Cooper had every militant and fighter pilot and cruiser confront the Empire when they approached Paradise. In exchange, some ships were allowed to escape. Those who weren't were tortured and basically enslaved.
So you're saying Cooper put up as much of a fight as he could?
He was the last defiant soul. Except for these people. Because of Cooper's defense, these people were able to escape, and they're the ones that the Empire was looking to displace. I don't think they even cared about chasing after him. Tarkin didn't seem interested about the Chancellor. All he cared about was that Paradise Station was the seat of commerce, and he took the seat of commerce, and now they don't have one.
That's interesting. So what happened when you made it onto Paradise?
He took me in, gave me a place. I didn't know how badly Cooper was hurt. He showed me this visage of how he intends to keep Paradise operating. Everybody seemed to be doing work just fine. Everybody seemed to be smiling. Everybody seemed to be happy, but it wasn't until I realized that those who weren't happy, those who refused to step in line, were dealt with quietly. And at first I didn't help, but it wasn't long before I felt compelled to.
And I'll just reach over and I'll grab her hand and I'll be like, that wasn't you. You understand that, right?
I know. You know, Cooper, before he passed away, gave me a bunch of these. And she hands her data pad over to you, Grodd. And if you look, he gave her books and articles about how people who are captured can have personalities transposed on them, can be brainwashed, and steps for recovery.
I'll just look at him briefly. I'll say, Cooper really knew what he was talking about, didn't he?
Well, he smuggled people. He's part of the Underground Railroad in the Clone Wars, so he knew what he was doing. He's seen the worst of it. He's seen an entire galaxy get brainwashed right before his eyes.
Yeah, it seems so. So you don't think that Tarkin and his goons are eyeballing the station here?
Are you kidding me? If Tarkin knew where this was, it wouldn't be here.
I'll turn to Sirius and say, what do you think?
And I'm standing there rubbing my leg, my prosthetic leg, and I say, you turn to me and ask me that, I stand up straight and I say, I think that's the answer that we needed. We must do what we can to help these people.
All right. So
is everybody in the in the lounge then?
No, they're not. But we're going to fast forward a little bit to you guys in the cockpit, one of those Star Wars wipes, where all four of you are in the cockpit now as you approach the Chancellor. And then you guys need to take your final vote. Do you board or do you not board? That is the question. Actually, I'll space this out so everybody can see the names.
Oh.
Board. I vote board.
Is Sarah in the room?
No. Sarah does not want any part of this because she does know that she can't handle the guilt right now. She just lost Cooper. This is a little too much for her.
I'll vote board.
If you want to know her opinion, she told you that you should trust them, so she would have voted board. Paris shakes her head. No. Hell no. Grick is like, nah. I don't buy it. Our luck is too good, you know? It hasn't been this good in a long time, and I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. It's 3-2. It's up to Lucius and Kier now.
They did offer to pay for our fuel. That would help us out. But I know three of you feel very...
Paris kind of interjects. Yeah, but you also said that you were going to get a great deal for the fuel in the first place. And
that
she
is
points
true.
to Sirius and says, you negotiated a front spot. We could be wham bam, thank you ma'am, filled and gone.
If the Valkyries were taken hostage and you thought they were all dead as slaves and you found some free, would you not wish to help them?
I would let them die, because right now we have medical supplies in our cargo compartment that need to go to a war front to sick and injured people who are dying every day. And if we prolong this journey, more are going to die.
She is right, though. I mean, your friends are safe for now.
Yeah,
What's
I
one more
see
day,
what you're
she
saying.
says.
I mean, we could talk to Stevos for a moment. We can maybe negotiate something to help him out. Maybe give them a bump. Maybe give them some help and relief. You know, if they are your friends and these are the people you care about, we can help them out. We got to help these people too. We do have a job still to keep.
Serious? In all honesty, Paris clears her throat. I am not trying to argue. I merely like to lay all the facts on the line. Bottom line is I'm a soldier, and you're my captain. So if I am outvoted, I am with you 100%.
Me too.
So Damn Jam, Lucius, god damn it!
Drink! Everybody
Not
drink!
I'm gonna spin a dark side point and just give you guys a light side point for that faux pas. There you go. Alright, so Lucius.
Refreshing.
I am out of drink, that's how much. Lucius.
Well, I meant the Twitch audience, actually.
Oh yeah. Do you change your vote? Based on what she said.
Lucius sits there, thinks for a moment. You said Lucius, right? And he's contemplating. He goes, "We've got a job to do," and I can understand you guys' personal feelings for these people, and I can appreciate that. But we do need to get this medical supplies to this war front. We're already behind schedule as is right now. I vote to not board for now.
And then immediately all of the eyes pan to Kier. It is a 3v3 vote. And Kier is the vote-breaking, or the tie-breaking vote. Now, I will allow Lucius, I will allow Sirius, and I will allow Grodd to interact with Kier to try to get his feeling on the situation, and maybe convince him like Paris did Lucius.
There really isn't anything. So he just basically points out from a tactical standpoint, there isn't anybody that's going to get in our way when we get up there for fuel. So we cut to the front of the line. That's fine. We get it. We go. You know where they're going to be. Apparently they haven't moved since they left. And he points to Lucius, and we were just talking. He says, "This isn't normal for this area." So apparently they're here because they don't know where else to go. So, we know where they'll be. We just need to get going. So, let's get in, get the fuel, and we can come back for them later. Just send an apology and tell them that we will catch up with them later.
Besides, don't we have another mission that you had mentioned after we get this medical mission underway?
All right, so at this, you guys feel a slight chill in the air. A little bit, it gets a little chilly in here, like a cool breeze in this bitch. And Sirius kind of swings his cape and fucking storms out the room like a little bitch. He just pieces out because he got clean outvoted, so he storms out.
Yeah, as you storm out, are you mad, Sirius?
I mean, yeah, he's kind of pissed off. He got outvoted on his own ship on some bullshit. Like, fucking literally, there's no difference if we get the fuel from them or if we go up and get it from somebody else, but like these motherfuckers gonna try to get in my business. So yeah,
feel a
Sirius is pissed
connection.
off. He leaves, man.
You
He's
feel
mad as hell.
the moment you leave the bridge, you feel a tight connection, a familiar one. You're closer to your final destination now, and it seems like this connection is stronger than ever. Meanwhile, on EOS, Jam, you are standing on a balcony, standing over the cool gardens, and there are several injured Trandoshans being treated below, as well as injured people from your sister's republic. It appears this whole civil war that the Trandoshans were blamed for is not going well. What's worse, the Trandoshans were followed. And you lost your best friend. His body lays before you. Or under a sheet, of course. The best pilot you had ever seen. Better than you. Taken down by Imperials in an assault ship. And you have never seen tactics so aggressive in your entire life. They would send small teams of people down to the planet. Death Corps. Trained. Expertly so. You've had some communications with their leader, a gentleman who claims to be this ambassador of the First Order. At first, they insisted that they were only here for the Trandoshans, but with what you learned about the Civil War, you could not let those people be turned over to the First Order. So you have fought back. And as far as you know from the latest transmission from the ambassador, he was finished negotiating with you, and more First Order ships were on the way. You need those supplies. You need them now. And that's when you feel a connection stronger than it has been before. Sirius, he's getting close. And almost like, Sirius, you remember when you first had that angry moment in that one conference room with Damn Jam? That one angry moment that you shocked the hell out of Damn Jam. And it kind of went into that blue fog environment that was a lot like the Assassin's Creed loading screens. You both find yourselves in that blue fog. And Damn Jam, your pillar is gone. You turn around. Sirius, you just huffed out of the room and you see Damn Jam standing before you. You see him. Not hear him. You see him.
Sirius, what are you doing here?
Okay, let me ask you this, man, because my emotions are extremely high right now, like peaked, and we're like connected to the Force and everything. So like, can I feel what he's feeling with my empathic natural stuff or anything, or is it just are my emotions too overwhelming for me?
In this field, in this little connection, you guys can feed off of each other's emotions. Damn Jam, I think you realize Sirius is the one delivering the medical goods that you need. It's almost like fate the Force has pushed him to this point. This is the destiny. Right. Meanwhile, you, Damn Jam, also get the feeling that Sirius is upset. He feels like his opinion doesn't hold as much sway as it used to. And it's frustrating. So
well,
frustration.
Sirius is overwhelmed with suffering right now because he everywhere he goes, he just sees the suffering around him, and he's inclined to help, but it's impossible to help everyone. He just can't, and that's what's really frustrating him right now is his inability to save the people that he wants to save.
And as he's sensing all that, and he goes, he looks to Sirius. He goes, "Okay, I understand now. You need to get here fast."
As soon as you say that, like, I just kind of push out with the Force, just let my emotions out. And I say, how can you understand? You can't see these ships. There's so much suffering. You can't feel this.
And I think as you flush your hands out to say that, behind you is the flotilla of ragtag ships, the small fleet of science vessels, the picture of your daughter's face in anguish, the misery that she described. And then Damn Jam, you just look down as your emotions betray you, and behind Damn Jam, Sirius, you see an entire courtyard filled with thousands, men, women, children, dying.
And like, dude, at that, like, the fucking anger and shit it snaps at me, and I fall to my knees, and I'm just like, my face is smeared with tears, and I'm just like, why, Damn Jam, why is it like this?
And then you
and
look up.
Like, I'm like, bro, I'm broken, man.
You look up, and you see the visage of these Trandoshan warriors being cut down by a Wookiee. You look over above it, there's a new type of assault vessel that looks a lot like a Star Destroyer, but it's smaller. And this pompous-looking First Order ambassador in a white suit. And there's something familiar about these people. But you've never seen or heard of them before. There's just something about them that you know is important.
You want to know why there's all this suffering? You know why. Put the pieces together.
And
Who's
you see
the
me,
one?
I'm like wiping my shit.
And do you guys
please keep talking?
Do you guys want to come closer, or are you just talking at each other? Like, are you having more of a debate, or is this like a friendly, like a hand on each other's arms? Because you could touch each other now.
Well, at that point, I was still far away and I'd fallen to my knees. But then I'm starting to get up and like gather my shit as he's talking to me right then.
Damn Jam's just kind of standing, kind of stoic at this point. He's more battle hardened, I think, than what you last saw him.
Yeah, in fact, there's a huge chunk missing out of one of your ears.
Mm-hmm. So he's kind of welcoming, but he's kind of at this guarded position because it's been straight combat and dealing with that for what, weeks?
Yeah, it's been hard waking up every morning. And I think your best friend dying was the last of it.
Look, serious. I know the people from Paradise have suffered, but they're safe for now. We need help down here.
And you kind of look upwards, Sirius, at that Imperial vessel and the armaments that it has. And you realize your heart sinks. There is no way the Phoenix Rising will be able to get into the atmosphere of this planet with that ship. Not on its own.
So, okay, as I look up at that, I've stood up, I've gathered my shit, and I'm like trying to compose myself. I'm still very emotional, but like I'm starting to gather it together. And I'm gonna approach Damn Jam. And did you say he's like actually there? Can I like touch him? I want to try to touch his messed up ear. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna take your messed up ear in my hand because I'm like kind of taller.
The moment you touch him, all of a sudden the force swells. It's like you guys are acting as conduits together, and you guys have this flash of Tarkin in Paradise. What we need is a fool. That's what we need. Here are the dossiers, sir. And then he turns to the table and he picks one up, and it has Flynn, but before he was ambassador. This fool will do. And then it fast forwards to an image of Felucia with these fungo zombies tearing apart the populace, and the Imperials bravely saving as many people as they can. And even though they're Imperials, there's a part of you guys that realize they're doing the right thing. And then fast forward again to a Moff being executed, and then Tarkin shaking Flynn's hand going, "You'll make the perfect ambassador, and I have a job for you." And then he looks at the two of you and grins, and then it fades out.
So as I'm holding my boy Damn Jam's ear, is the connection still between us, or is that the connection faded out? Or that was just that.
It was a sudden flush of force. Like, you guys haven't been in contact for a long time. You've gotten so much stronger, but you have also realized that Damn Jam has gotten so much stronger. And that thing that is in Damn Jam is connected to Tarkin. So in a way, you can see stuff that neither one of you can see. But oftentimes when you guys are together, it seems like when you guys are apart, Damn Jam doesn't have these images. But when you guys are together, he does.
So as I hold your ear up, I'm gonna look up at the Star Destroyer, kind of, and I'm gonna say, I'm being selfish. I'm sorry, Damn Jam. It looks like we need each other.
More than you know, man. Well, we'll try to hold them off as fast as long as we can, but try to get here as soon as possible, and whatever help you can bring.
It's gonna be hard getting past that ship.
You start thinking about it. Whatever help you can bring echoes through your head as Damn Jam fades away. Whatever help you can bring. And you're at the door of the bridge, and you turn around and you look out the window, and you see the Chancellor and all of those science vessels and all of those ships who have an axe to grind against Tarkin, who want blood, who are stuck here with nothing to do, and they will change that.
I think a nicely timed and coded message to be sent out after we leave could accomplish a lot in the way of a distraction.
Actually, I think I'm going to compel you by spinning on dark side. You look at the crew in front of you, and although their opinions are valid, maybe visiting the Chancellor ship might not be a bad idea. Maybe posting your case could potentially mean that instead of one ship arriving to the planet, they all do. And quite honestly, it doesn't matter if you leave and you're a day early or a day late. You can't get past that assault ship. It is fast. It has a lot of fighters. There's no way you can do it. But the Chancellor
so here's what I want to do.
Fully armed cruiser.
Yeah. Here's what I want to do. I'm gonna pull a VTAR right now. Is what I'm gonna do. And as soon as we get onto the station, because they're like, we're gonna jump to the front of the line. We're gonna go right in. As soon as we get to the station, I'm gonna turn to Grodd and Lucian. I'm gonna say, you're in charge. Get the fuel, and I'm gonna head out and I'm gonna get me a ship. Even if I have to fucking influence somebody and say, take me to the Chancellor.
No, that's good. That's good. Let's do that. So you dock at the station to fuel, right? Lucius, you got to stay in the cockpit. It looks like it's going to take about an hour or two. Actually, Lucius, you want to go talk to your friend.
Yeah,
right?
So he's going to go find Stevos and
excellent.
Try to
Kier,
negotiate some stuff.
It's probably in your best interest to act as security and go with Lucius.
Right. The only other thing would have been he has some curiosity about the research vessels.
Well,
they're old enough that he actually has.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's why Lucius wants to go talk to him. These are from probably 10 years. This is probably those ships were brand new when the movie Rogue One takes place, essentially.
Right.
So yeah, Lucius wants to go find out what the hell is going on. And you know that anytime there's a group like this, there could be tension and security issues on the station. So you are inclined to go. Also, you might be able to go look for some supplies that you need.
Right.
Grodd.
So he's like, Pink.
Grodd.
I can handle the fueling. Getting that all arranged.
You're in charge of the purse strings, man.
Travis can handle that too. Sirius, I need you to roll some sort of deception check against Grodd. Grodd's been with you a long time, and he knows some shit is up.
That's true. I'm not gonna.
Whatever skill you choose.
Okay.
What am I rolling against you, brother? What is your perception or whatever you want?
Perception is 2 yellow, 1 green.
Okay.
Well, hang on. Hang on. First off, I want Sirius to think of deception or skullduggery. Non-negotiation, because this is completely not serious. Like you said, you're pulling.
What about leadership? What about leadership?
Yes.
If
You're
I
like,
was to,
oh, you guys
tell
over
him
there,
to
I'll
do
let you
something
that.
as a distraction.
Right,
Yeah.
I'll let you do that. And then, Grodd, I'll let you roll a perception or a skullduggery or even a deception to go, wait a minute. Like, you know, there's a phrase that liars know a liar.
Yeah. I'll keep it perception. It's not what the skullduggery is way better, but I think it's more perception.
Well, that's just it, though. You could use skullduggery because you're like, wait a minute, he's doing some, like, you know, like when a kid wants to do something and the kid's going to prime the parents to get permission.
Yeah.
Every kid seems to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You're starting
the same thing.
So slick.
It's the same thing as my perception, so
Oh, okay. So
doesn't
go ahead
really
and roll
matter.
perception then.
Whoops,
Okay.
I forgot to clear stuff out.
Wait, do I have stuff? Nope.
No,
Oh,
I
you
did.
forgot to. Okay.
My bad.
Let me just. Do you want to count that or reroll? You can reroll.
Doesn't
if you want.
matter.
It's too messy. Reroll. So I don't think you'd call a brother out. I think Lucius and Kier, they get ready to go. I think Grodd, because you use your skullduggery skill, I think Grodd would do something like, oh, I forgot something, guys. Hang on. And goes to run back on the ship.
You got me, man. You got me good.
You want to do that, Grodd? Do you think that would work?
Totally, yeah. Totally. He wouldn't tell the other two about it, but
Serious,
yeah, he'd
you are
definitely
not a
turn around.
total nincompoop. It's not like you said, you just need to go find a way to get over there, like a ship. And you're standing there on the bottom deck, and the door to the Ebon Hawk is open, and you're looking down. It's the only thing you've got. Unless you want to sneak aboard the station, steal one, bribe one, but you guys don't exactly have a whole lot of money. That's the one you got.
and I'm gonna sneak up behind him
Okay,
as
roll
stealthily as possible.
And as you sneak up behind me, I'm sitting down at the controls of the Ebon Hawk, and I'm saying, "By the Force, don't let this be another dump truck."
Oh hell! Great,
So,
we end up losing the Ebon Hawk in
roll
the
a stealth
procession.
rod, roll a deception or a perception, Sirius. And
Okay.
don't roll any difficulties. These PvP rolls are hilarious. Did you clear yours?
Oh
Rod?
my
Yeah,
God,
it's clear.
God, you
I get-
sneaky bastard!
I get a whole bunch of extras with the stealth.
Okay,
I got
so-
the suit for it. Dude, I got stalker, natural, whatever. I got
okay,
a suit
so-
for stealth.
I don't know how you want to handle this, Grodd, but I totally imagine him sitting there going, by the Force, please don't let this be another dump truck. And he just looks over and you're sitting in the co-pilot seat.
No, actually, he doesn't even notice I'm there.
You just
drop
sneak on
down.
the ship and that's it.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, so, Sirius, are you ready to punch out?
I guess.
Piloting space, 2 purple with 1 setback.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna lose the ship again.
That's just a setback because you don't recognize the language on any of the consoles, but you still have a good... Oh, you're using the Force.
Oh wait, no, that's not right.
You meant to...
God dang it! Am I
Damn it.
adding to the pool? Why is this happening to me? Can you delete those? I'm sorry, dude. I'm
let me
clicking
see.
them off.
You might be adding to the pool. You did.
Yeah, I did. I added a light and a
Shame
dark.
on you.
Can
Alright.
you flip a light side for me because I have
all
one.
you have to do is click
Green.
use light side.
I just hit the wrong button because I didn't have my glasses on. There's some in my freaking eye, dude.
Okay, I'll go ahead and flip it then. Yeah, not a problem.
Thank you. Okay, let me hit that. Oh, did I hit my upgrade? Yes. Okay. Clicked out. Pilot. Got my. Y'all know my piloting is.
Bananas.
Nice.
Ridiculous.
You want planet? You want space, right? Well, what's the
Space,
fucking
yes.
difference? It doesn't matter. They're the same. Oh my
Oh,
God!
good. I think the threat is too strained. You're just really stressed out. But yeah, it leaves and you
Completely
fly around.
stressed. Yes.
And it's when when Kier and Lucius are crossing the terminal to go to the lounge that this guy would likely be meeting Lucius, that's when you guys look out the window and you see the Ebon Hawk leave the bottom of the Phoenix Rising. And it's like, it leaves, it wobbles a little bit, and you see it thrust and then slow down and then thrust again. It takes him about 2 minutes, but he finally gains the controls and starts heading for the Chancellor ship.
So, Kier has got one of his gloved hands, and he's got a hold of Lucius's shoulder, and he's squeezing like really tight. With,
yeah,
ow.
My tools.
And he's got his helmet on, so you can't see anything inside the mask, but he's like, you hear him like, the air just sucking in.
I love that. That's good. Yeah, that's good. And Grodd, you are seriously just like in one of the dark compartments with the hanging wires. Like, we see the shot fly past Sirius's head, and all we see is your eyes twinkling in the light as you watch Sirius, because you are so hidden that the camera can't even see you. It has to see your flickering lights.
And like, for a second, Rod thought about stepping out of the shadows because he knows Sirius is like the worst pilot like you've ever seen. So, but he, like, at the last second, he decided not to let himself be known. And he got kind of lucky, I think.
Yeah. I think you also see, because he spent a force point, I'd like to think that he's channeling with the force. So you see him, he's actually flying with his eyes closed some of the times. And then he'll open them. And then when the ship starts to shake, he'll close his eyes and center. So it looks like he's in control.
And Kier apologizes to Lucius. He's like, I guess we all have hidden agendas, don't we?
Grodd, that's when you feel something poke your leg in your hidey hole.
I'm gonna like look down and at the same time just kind of brush it away.
Yeah, you're kind of brushing it away, and you see strapped to the wiring of this case is an R2 astromech that has been taped up to the wall with a sign in Grick's handwriting that says, please dispose of. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode. Thank you, everyone. That was great. But you know, it's that time. Tide change time. So for those of you who are not part of the Facebook Star Wars Tides of Change Facebook group, we basically, each player comes up with a plot change, and then in this Facebook group, everybody votes on it, and then it kind of directs the narrative for the next game. So, we'll start with Damn Jam and Sirius, and yes, I meant Damn Jam, so eat it. Let's go ahead and get a tide change from the two of you first, and then from Grodd and Kier. So, Chris with Slackersy, what's your tide change?
So, just a general one, right? Nothing kind of preset. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna say that Stevos knows of a group of mercenaries that would be willing to help out with the assault.
Ooh,
once
good. Yeah.
They talk about it's not a big fleet, but it's a very well-trained fleet of fighter ships.
They're former pirates. How about that?
Yeah.
Reformed pirates.
Right.
Yeah, reformed pirates. I like that. All right.
And it had previously worked with on one of the missions that Lucius had worked on for Stevos. So
there you go. So you guys know each other. Let's pan over to Archie Duelist with Sirius. Sirius, why don't you give us a tide change?
Okay, so a representative of Luke's New Order is on the Chancellor trying to get a young Force sensitive to come to his new training place.
Ooh, and I can imagine that they are not having any of that. Not after what they just went through, but I love that.
I'm gonna leave all the particulars of the implications
We'll
of
have
that
to
up
see.
to you. That's
We'll
what
have
I'm
to
throwing
see how
out
you. Actually, I'm going to leave it to the way that you handle this communication, because you are a Jedi, and maybe they'll remember that they're not all bad. So, they just don't know you're a Jedi because you kept that secret.
I did kind of tell them my name was here. And
Yep.
not going by
They
that.
have no idea you're serious, so you might be able to say, "Hey, this is a great idea," but I like that. So, representative from the New Order, excellent. And let's go to Kier. Kier, you watched your baby fly away. What's your tide change?
I would say that the science vessels are actually have a means to actually accelerate our travel to EOS.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
actually,
but it would have
let's
to be
say-
we'd have to all kind of travel in a cluster in order to be able to do it. It wouldn't.
I like that. They do have the breach drive technology, so that's definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility. So let's pan over to Thomas Frey, who plays Grodd.
All right.
I gotta hear this,
These,
because so far the last 4 tide changes that have been picked have been Thomas's, because they've been amazing.
Have they? I don't know. It's been so long. I can't even remember.
It has been long.
But, all these ships from Paradise, they've secretly been gearing up anyways. Like, you think they're science ships, but they've been gearing up to go take Paradise back for the last, been a couple
that's why
months.
they're here. This is like a siege camp.
So they're shipping in guns and changing armaments. They're just keeping it on the down low.
I'm gonna change my vote to that.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I could just imagine on one of the research vessels, they're like, all right, I think we got everything. And there's just all these guns and these boxes and things that they've collected.
Yep.
I like that a lot. Perfect, perfect. Okay, well, thank you all for watching. We've got our Tides Changes again. If you're part of the Tides to Change group, you can go and vote for that Tides Change. It will be posted when the YouTube video comes out, and I think the YouTube video will be out within the next couple days. But if you haven't already, hit that follow button. In fact, I'd like to take some time now. Thank you, Thomas Frey. From T. Frey Guy has followed the channel. Archie Duelist, you've also followed today. Thank you very much. Dragon Lord Alchemist has also followed the channel. We appreciate that. 86th Gamer is also a follower of the channel. Eric 42x2, I think is how you say that. If not, I apologize. You followed the channel. I appreciate it. And Polgara, thank you for your participation in the chat, and thank you for the follow, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. This game will be once a month. Normally it's longer. This was our first live stream, so we were kind of getting a feel for it. But since they're once a month, I'm going to ask my players, what do you think about 5-hour streams? Since we only do it once a month.
Yeah.
So
5 hours? I mean, you're actually putting a limit to it?
Yeah. So we're actually going to make it probably 5 hours for these Star Wars games, just to milk as much time as we can. And the way that these streams work is it's going to be Ashes to Ashes this week. It's going to be Destiny Horizon. And then we have to make a few changes to Dust to Dust, but that'll be the following Sunday. You can usually catch us at 5. As long as I don't try to cut my finger off again, we will be on time. So until next time, check out the YouTube channel, Jarl of Goats. Check out everybody else's channels here. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Check out their Twitches if they have them. And until next time, bye-bye.